Oh no, yesterday I was supposed to give you guys my health update, and I didn't get a chance to do my health update with you guys. I just want to make sure that y'all are hearing me good. I got these headphones in. It says supposed to block off and cancel all the extra noise, but like anything, you just don't know once you go live. So y'all let me know if you guys can hear me real good. Otherwise, I don't know. But today, guys, I have some little bit of sad, happy, or you can call it bittersweet. However, one of my friends that passed away, I think I shared that with you guys the other day. And I'm a little sad today because, with anything, we are here, we enjoy each other's presence. And then sometimes what happens is life happens and the person or you are no longer in existence, so the important things is to appreciate each other, value each other while you're living, because you never know when that day's going to be the last day. So he passed away a few days ago, just had a massive heart attack. That's why I'm going so hard when it comes to health and fitness, because I'm not saying that he didn't do workouts. I really don't know, but I just know that massive heart attacks in our community is getting more and more, um, you know, known and more frequent. This is happening. So if you guys are not focusing or not aware, please look into the cost of massive heart attacks going on in our community, and make sure that you're tweaking yourselves, because it's so sad. This is like the third person this year that just passed away with a massive heart attack, um, and did not get chance to say goodbye. So a little sad there. Just finished watching their funerals. And then on another note, we had, hold on, let me fix these guidelines because I don't need some distraction coming in. Okay, there we go. So yeah, that's what I've been doing today, guys. I finished up watching the funeral online because he's from my island, and he left his wife and his two kids to mourn, and all his other family members with him. So it's sad sometimes when we are. I'm gonna leave that one there because it's very emotional. Let's see who's up in here. Hello, let me see. Hi, 24. Whoosh, Graham, 24. Well, hello there. Look so beautiful today. Oh, thank you so much. I am definitely on the inside. I'm wanting to cry. I wanted to feel sad, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna come on and I'm gonna make the best of it. I'm gonna share a few memories. One thing about, our childhood friend was he, wherever he was at, you would go laugh. You know, he was that type of person that always gonna bring a smile out within an individual. Whatever circle he was in, everybody just loved to hover around because you were gonna feel good about yourself. You were gonna laugh and you were gonna have a great time. And that's the memories that I want to really remember of my friend. Still, today was the funeral, like I mentioned to you guys earlier. So I watched it on Facebook, and it was very sad and heartbreaking to see, his loved ones, his two young daughters, that he just was no longer there, and they had a hard time accepting that. So sending prayers to my friend. I'm just praying for her for strength and comfort during this time. And I'll just ask you guys to also send some prayers up for her and her family as she lost her husband today. I know I come on here a lot and I'm joking and I'm laughing, but today, on a serious note, please pray for those family members that did not have a chance to enjoy today with their loved ones due to, whatever reason, or due to them not being able to wake up on this side to the end of life. So that's what I'm gonna say on that side. Hello, sugar. Sugar, where you been, sugar? Sugar, it's been a minute, sister. I mean, I missed you. I'm not gonna lie, I missed you. I was like, where is Sugar Ronnie? I haven't seen you in forever. I know the last time we communicated, you were working on getting your steps in. You were working also on your jobs. I'm not sure how that is going for you. Let me throw this gum away. Hold on. Mm, yeah, let me take that out. Yeah, because normally I'll be chewing and talking and chewing, talking. It just don't look sexy. It's like, okay. But yeah, Sugarani, I'm just checking in with you and seeing how you're doing with your family. I know the last time you mentioned in regards to the jobs, you were mentioning that you were either looking for a second job and you were trying to expand that cash flow. I understand, sister. So I know if you're working and you're busy, that's probably one of the reasons I haven't seen you up in here. So welcome back, sister. Welcome back. Hello, Wolfpack Master. Hey, how have you been? All is well. Jared. Hello, Jared from Jared Talks. Welcome in, Jared. Hope all is well with you. It's been a minute since I've been on. I've been getting up real early, guy, these last couple of weeks, putting in the work, working on getting that money together. And, sometimes you have to pick and choose. You either gonna focus on the money or you're gonna focus on having a little on the gym or having fun running up and down doing nothing. So these last couple of weeks I had put on my, grown up tennis shoes and decide to do some family things. And basically, that's what I've been doing, just putting some work in, figuring out this market as we are changing again, as the season go in the gig economy up and down, you know, you have the good days and you have the bad days, and they all vary depending on the time and the day. So today was one of those days where before 10 o'clock, you can hit your goal. Sometimes, guys, it takes until 1, 2 o'clock before you can hit a goal. And some days you may get 2 or 3 deliveries or ride share pickups. So it all depending on how much time you want to put in. I know for me, I'm right now balancing when it comes to working out, focusing on my fitness and my health, and also working. So hand in hand, I would love to do them all at once, but this body is only can handle so much, So if I decide to go to work, then I work within the times that's peak time is my gym time. So I have to sacrifice the gym. And I do not want to go and work all day and then do the gym in the evening time for 5 days out of the week because my body it's going to take a minute to get there that recovery going. Okay. Listen, after 35-ish, you know, you don't recover the same as you used to back in the day. So I'm just letting you guys know that when it comes to making money and balancing family and balancing the way of life, it's going to take some time to put the work in to try to figure out, you need a little pinch of this more, a little pinch of that more. I know for me, I struggle if I want to focus 100% on my gym with the fitness and the health, then I sabotage my income. And right now, she can't be sabotaging no extra income because there's mouths out there, there's people to help and support and to be able to bless. So right now, guys, I am doing this. I'm on a roller coaster right now. My health, go to work. My health, go home. My health, family time, rebalancing. But we pushing through. That's all we can do. Sugar said, are you ready for Thanksgiving? What are your Thanksgiving do's and don'ts? Well, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving um, because as I've started to follow the truth, that's not part of it's considered like a pagan holiday. So I don't celebrate holidays, but what I do, sugar, is I work the gig economy because on Thanksgiving, on Christmas, on any holiday starting from this month all the way until after February, that's holidays. And basically what happens is nobody want to work around that time. So that's where my income goes up. So I was sharing with you guys on my last few videos. The secret within the gig economy is you work when they don't want to work. Okay, it's like you're having a baby. Can you guys hear me good? I just want to make sure that the sounding is already like you're not hearing the wind. Just let me know. Like I was mentioning to you, is that um okay, so I think the sound is blocked now. But I was mentioning to you that when it's like a baby, you're having a baby, you sleep when babies sleep. Y'all who have kids understand that part because that's something that's like across the board the most sensiblest thing to do. When you sleep, the baby sleep. The same thing with the gig economy. When it's a holiday, because I don't celebrate holidays, and me and my family for over the last 10 years, we don't do that celebration or we cook up a big storm. And by the way, guys, y'all should try it because you save a lot of money during this time. Okay, especially to all my holiness walk brothers and sisters that y'all know what I'm talking about. You don't have to spend on no gift for nobody. You don't have to. I mean, I'm not saying you don't give. Yes, you give, but it's not for no special occasion. And we don't have to make all these pressure presents under this tree and start serving this idol. Like, no, you don't have to do that. You can give all year long. If somebody need a pair of shoes, go give it. If you see somebody need to get their hair done, go do it. If you see somebody need to do something or need a little extra hair for gas, a little extra hair for food, go do it. Be a blessing. Be a blessing to others and don't expect nothing in return. Because a lot of time we give and we are looking on what can you do for me. Have you that there was a song, is in a worldly song that she said, what have you done for me lately? You know, don't get that mindset. I was listening to Minister Mars today. For those that have not gotten the new video from Minister Mars. I posted it for you guys. I was thinking about y'all. I couldn't get all that good food and didn't share it. I posted it for you guys because I think that was a great message. If you listen to Minister Mars for the last couple of months, like grab his last, I'm going to just make it easy on you. Grab his last 5 or 4 sermons. He is speaking the same thing throughout your peace, focus on your peace and your holiness. Peace, holiness. And today he added the conscience, clear your conscience. Remember, I be talking about when pastors talk about the thesis within your worship. That type, that's his message for these last 5 sermons that he been putting out there of clearing out the thesis within your worship, cleaning your conscience, not holding on to bitterness. You know, sometimes it's not so much the person hurt us, yes, but it's what we hold on to is what we incriminate yourself from holding on to all that negativity, all that bitterness. And he talked about letting it go. Let it go. You know, like Frozen. Don't be holding on to it because you're going to self sabotage yourself. Allow the Lord to take care of the things that's out of your control and focus on cleaning your conscience. You shouldn't have no remorse for anything within your heart. Clear it all out. Focus on your peace. Also, Brother TNT talked last night about peace, keeping your peace, protecting your peace. Everybody's talking about protecting peace, keeping peace, you know, focusing on your holiness walk, making sure your conscience is clean and clear, not doing things maliciously. Sometimes people go out of their way to be malicious. That is the devil. That's of the devil. Don't go out of your way to harm somebody else just because you want to be petty. So right now, Minister Ma's message was top tier. So go listen to it, guys. And now, Brother Bob said, are you rooted tonight? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are rooted up in here. Well, we're thriving, okay? We're thriving on working on cleaning out the feces within our worship because Every day we have to do the same routine for the rest of our lives because it either somebody, something, whatever is some thought that we're going to have to daily, consistently clean it out and not hold on to it because we're self sabotaging our growth. And I mean, when he said that, I was like, okay, Minister Mars, talking about peace, protecting your peace. Don't allow nobody to come in. And sometimes the devil can allow you to hold on to something that's no longer serving you, but you're holding on anyway because you're bitter with it and you can't let it go and you're self sabotaging your own blessings. So when you see, and also there's a sister, I posted her too. She had a beautiful message. She was talking about giving. And a lot of times she was mentioning, oh, I can't remember her name, but I posted her on my post feed. So y'all could go and see. You'll see the one from yesterday. She does really great little short, straight to the point, life living type of conversation. And she hit a few topic, and yesterday it was talking about giving and not to tell everybody about it. If you give me something, you know how to go and be gossiping behind my back, or this person give this. And she was saying we like people have to change that thought process. We always looking to have, you know, the credit, not focusing on the credit, guys. If you're gonna give, you give, and not worried about the credit because it don't belong to you in the first place. It belongs to God Almighty. So you need to make sure that all glory belongs to Him, not to you. So if you're giving someone because you have a little extra on the side that you can spare and bless somebody else, you don't need the credit for it. Nobody needs to know it either. And nobody in the background should be knowing it either. A lot of time people go out of their way to say, "Hey, I'm going to help the person." In reality, you're not helping the person. You just want to be seen. I said it. Yes, I did. You just want to be seen. You just want to be known that I did this. I did that. What did you do? No, and that whatever extra sack of potatoes that you had today, and you could have spared, you know, 10 little potatoes to hand down to somebody else that didn't have any. It was that I love it to happen. So don't take the credit for something that you had nothing to do with. Okay. Always all the glory belongs to God. And when she talked about that, it was so beautiful because sometimes in life we tend to think that we are God, that we are doing it. I remember a few years ago, guys, during this around the same time in Hawaii, there's a lot of wind, it's dry, it's hot, and it rains here and there, but majority of the time around October time frame is if you see a fire break loose, it will take out the whole community. And let me tell you guys, a few years ago, there was a fire that took place in my community, and the surrounding, it burnt. We were like, say, a oval shape, and on the pictures that was taken from on those little, I don't know the name of those little cameras that flies, but those cameras, our little area was like somebody had placed their thumb or their finger on that spot. All around it was burnt to ashes, it was burnt to the ground. But whatever the Lord was protecting, He protected our little area. So our houses didn't went down, but everything around us went down. One of these days, I'm gonna find a picture and I'm gonna post it on the post feed because it's mind blowing. So everybody in the community know that I love God and I'm gonna talk about God and to God be the glory. And one of my neighbors, they were atheists, and they were the ones that decided to stay. And when everybody got evacuated, they decided they wanted to stay and die with their house, I guess. They were the ones that stayed in the community. And they were the one that also helped assist all the other houses with the water to make sure that their house was protected. So in order to, I live on a, yeah, so at the end of the day, the neighbor that live in the inner rim, I live on the outer rim. So the neighbor that live on the inner rim, they had to protect the outer in order to protect the inner. So that's how our houses on the outer didn't get burnt. the whole story is that when I was giving God thanks and gratitude and stuff, the lady, the atheist lady and her husband, she was like, the Lord didn't do anything. It was me and my husband that stayed in the community. She wanted to take all that and say she did it. And I looked at her, I said, you didn't lie. I know you lying. I told her face she didn't like me. She left the community and hated me, but I didn't care. You got to tell people the truth. I said, I know you lying. She told me, she said it was her strength and her husband's strength that ran around the community on certain areas to wet it in order for the fire to go out. But she didn't know that was the spirit within her that was allowing her to do the work. But you see, she didn't have the knowledge. So I just told her, you lie. I said, you a liar, and I know you're lying. And she just move about her business. I was grateful, but she can't take God's praise. How's she gonna take that praise? So I gotta post a picture. You all not even gonna understand what I'm trying to say. I gotta post a picture so you can see the whole surrounding got burnt except that area. But because she stayed back, she want to take the glory. And I told her she lied. She lied. Stop lying. You didn't do nothing. Whatever was working within you, I love to give you that extra strength to run around to, out whatever needed out and spray everybody. By the way, everybody water bill was like nearly $1,000 after that. But the house came up and you give your glory to God. Long story short, a lot of people like to do things and they want their praise. And sometimes you just have to let them know you didn't do that. It was whatever, it was the spirit within you that I love you to do that. That's the one that has the power, not you. Okay. This flesh had nothing. We're just dust. That's it. Okay. So yesterday when sister was talking, she was talking in regards to people that give and they give but their intentions is not the best. And one other sister made a comment that I was like, oh, okay, that's a really good comment. And it was that comment where it's like a lot of time people giving and what they do is they go and they talk about you behind the other person's back. Why you do that? And say, I give her that. I give the other one that. What you're doing is you cause and riff. Why are you doing that? Just stay hush. Be mute. Mute yourself. Have you all know that remote that everybody has where you could just hit the mute button and be like, mute? Yeah, just hush your face. Don't be running around spreading people business all over the place. And I thought that message that she said yesterday was perfect. And the comments just was amazing. I was reading the comments like, ooh, okay, nice comments. Yes. So if you're giving, don't be looking nothing in return. If you're giving, do it from the bottom of your heart. And the praise do not belong to you, it belongs to God Almighty. So make sure you handed credit where credit is due, okay? And not for you. All right. Moving on. Let's get on this chat. Um, Sugar say, I have been affected by the government shutdown, but I'm working on getting back on track. Kudos to you, Sugar. There you go. I'm so happy to hear that. It's amazing. Keep pushing through. Sometimes everything is not going to go the way that we want it to go. I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes I'll be getting up, I'm like, I'm going to make $300 today. And then I look and noon hits and I'm like at 50. And I'm like, what happened? Because we always make plans and God is the one that's going to appoint. Okay. So your plans is not the same. He may have tried to save you from an accident or block you from something that you were going into. And that's why you didn't get to point A to point B. And your plan is not never going to be better than his plans. So, kudos to you, Sugar. And majority of people have been affected by this shutdown. The shutdown weren't no joke. I think they broke they signed off yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, at least according to TikTok. Okay, according to TikTok, I think it was signed off, and also on my Instagram, I saw a post that said something. I was like, oh my gosh! But you see, when you are working for the government, this is a thing where you give them power over your income, over your finances. Put your eggs in different basket, because I have neighbors also that was not able to work. They were furloughed, they had to stay home and they weren't getting paid, and bills is coming in. Bills is like that baby that you got a oops baby, and the baby is coming and you don't have nowhere to put the baby. You don't got nowhere to stay. but you got to figure it out, right? So at the end, most people, they went into the economy and start doing the gig economy while they're waiting for their jobs. One of my Lyft drivers yesterday said that he was like, I picked him up and he was like, I do Lyft. He said, however, though, I work full time with government, but because I'm furlough, I'm working extra with Lyft, and that's how I'm balancing my income in. I was like, oh, that's pretty smart. Many others are doing probably the same thing, just trying to balance, bridge the gap until your real job opens up. But don't stay there on zero. Try, keep pushing, figure it out, put action into something else. So I'm glad that they signed that thing so people can get off that punishment because, you know, it's tough. It's tough not getting a paycheck and your bills coming in, slapping you in the face. Hello, brother John Smith. Welcome in. Hope all is well with you, brother. Thank you for coming into Life with Paulette. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I mentioned to Brother Bob T. Thank you for stopping by, Brother Bob T. Hope all is well with you. And, like I said, I wanted to come on today. I wanted to update you guys on what's really I wanted to update you all on was my my weight loss journey. So today is week number 3, by the way. Week number 3 completed. I'm going into week number 4 of where, when I say weight loss journey too, is where my focus. I'm working on getting a little bit more proteins, making healthier choices by adding in a salad a day just to start off, my mixed vegetables, eating more healthier meats like my salmon. So I had a Lyft ride. Came to find out this person was coming from Alaska. And I was just talking about when I went to Alaska, because one thing on a Lyft ride, you're going to find those individuals that's going to come into your car. By the way, you can't prejudge and you don't know who's who, okay? You don't know who's who and you can't prejudge. You just have a conversation or you stay quiet and allow them to be you know, as long as you greet them. So this person comes in and it was like a 48 minutes ride. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this Lyft ride. I'm gonna do the 48 minutes and I gotta have this conversation now. So he started off when I say good evening and how you doing today? And he seemed like he was gonna be like a little reserved. So one thing on Lyft, you're gonna understand when you say good morning and good evening, you're gonna know if that person want to talk. You're gonna know if they don't want to talk. People put in their headphones. You gotta learn to read where writing is not, right? So for me, when he comes in the car and I said good afternoon or good evening, and I'll have to drive 48 minutes somewhere. If he don't talk to me, I don't talk to him, but we're gonna have a nice little ride. So he just mentioned to me, I said, oh, sir, so where are you coming from? Building casual conversation. He said, "Oh, I'm coming from Alaska. I'm going to be in Hawaii for 3 weeks." And I was like, "Oh, I love Alaska." When I went there, you build up conversation just to throw a little bait out there, see if they're talkable. And he was like, "Yeah, I love fish." I said, "Oh my gosh." I said, "Me too, especially salmon." And so when I went to Alaska, I said, I went to an all you can eat salmon. They had all the different types of cooking of salmon and fish and all these different things. And it was really nice. A buffet, very healthy, by the way, but it was really nice. And I said, I had a moment where, you made memories over there in Fairbanks. And he's like, yeah. And he started telling me, I go out on the Alaskan and I do the that type of fish where you're standing up and then I don't know what the name of it. All the fishers out there, you probably know something with the line where you pick fish picking. I don't know what to call it, but anyway, they have halfway they're in the water and they're standing in the water and they're throwing out the net and they're doing like this, and then whatever they pick up. But anyway, he got some salmon and he said, I have 50 pound of salmon. I said, oh my gosh, you got fish for the whole year. And he said, would you like some salmon? Of course, I want some salmon. And he said, the company that I work with, they catch all the salmon, they pack the salmon, they put them in those suction bags and have it all neatly packed up. So I'm thinking he have the little slobs, the ones that you buy at Costco in the bag with probably 3 to 4 little slobs. That young man give me the whole fish, whole salmon, already filleted, both sides of salmon, big old fish. I still have fish at home. I said, wow. And then he's like, I know he was going to my neighborhood. So when he got to my neighborhood, my husband is the one that set up our private ride from the airport because we do Lyft, but we have private Lyft rides that we do as well in our community. So he said, I'm gonna hand off the fish to your hubby and he gonna bring it to you. And I was like, perfect. So I went pick up the other ride while my husband and him was talking about these fish. You never know who you're gonna meet, okay, on a Lyft ride. Some of them is gonna be great conversation. Some of them is going to be very generous. So he handed me a whole big old salmon fish that I would have had to spend hundreds of dollars on to have it all filleted and cut neatly and zip up and the way that he had it done. I got something, a gift, and I was grateful for. Other ride now compared to the one today, I picked up somebody, he said, oh, I'm from the Philippines. I was like, oh, that's nice. And we having a conversation and he was excited. And I look at him, okay. So I'm like, okay, I'm driving, and he's like, yeah. He said, I'm going to pick up my fiance. I said, oh, okay. Yes, guys, you're going to get a whole lot of stuff when you're doing Lyft because you don't know who's who. You can't discriminate. Yes, I know if you're on holiness but I gotta work. You gotta do what you gotta do. It's not no maneuvering. You just treat everybody kind of across the board. Came to find out he was gonna pick up his fiance and they were gonna head off to Alaska. I said, oh, so two different conversations, two different people, but still nice conversation, nice gentleman people. And majority out of say for the last couple rides that I've been, and I started probably around February timeframe doing 1C, 2C Lyft. I had only that two scenarios that I would tell anybody. Turn off your dog preference, okay? Because $4 for that funky dog that I had to pick up did not worth it. Okay, all the hair in the back of your trunk, you have to just clean out everything and disinfect. So you all didn't hear that story. I shared that story a few months ago. That was one lift that I was like, I'll never do that again. The second one was a disrespectful older gentleman that just had an attitude like a girl, and I had to just give him a 0 star. So they're the only two encounters that I went through when it comes to gig economy doing Lyft that they were not my favorites and I reported them. Okay. And the good thing with Lyft, when you do report somebody or you give them 0 stars or 1 star, you don't ever have to worry about that again because you're not going to be able to be matched with them. So that was the good thing for me. Okay. I wasn't matched with them again, but they were the only two out of all the Lyft rides that I've done that, and you know my personality, I can make it with anybody. I don't have an issue with people, okay? It's a different when people have an issue with me and that's their business. It's not my business, okay? But I don't have an issue with people. But those two guys, they disturbed my peace. I had to snatch, take them off, take them off. So Lyft is not a bad option for those that have a stable job and you just want to pick up one or two people on the way to work, one or two people on the way back home. I think that would be a nice bridge the gap to give yourself a pay raise for an extra 40, $50. I think you can do that. So I just want to throw that out there for you guys that do have a job and you guys go to your 9 to 5, give yourself an extra hour or two. You don't have to get out of the car. You just pick up from point A to point B and you can make extra money on your spare time. That's my little advice for you guys today. Let's check these chats in here. Sugar say, I started growing my own food so I don't have to depend on the food stamp. Way to go, sugar. Kudos to you. Do you know that back in the day, that was the way to go, where you had your own plantation. You had your bananas, your cassavas, the yucca, which is cassava, your sweet potatoes. You had your, everything was you could grow. And people back then will exchange. If I had a, right now on the islands, I think it's all these islands, they do trades. So if I grow mangoes and you grow avocados, we can exchange each other. And when we visited Maui, people have they're so honest in certain areas because they got all their farming thing. Everybody had their farming stuff on the side. And what happened was is that I could pull up and exchange, do my trades, and you trust that I'm going to be honest with you, and I don't have to be watching to make sure that you're putting the same amount of value back into my little basket, and they'll trade out stuff like that. That's what I witnessed a few years ago, probably like 4 years ago when I went to Maui and we were doing a nice little tour. I was like, wow, that's pretty good. I don't know if they still do it, but that was pretty nice to do. Okay, pretty nice to do during that period of time. Let me see. Sugar said, so kudos to you, Sugar. I'm very proud of you, girl. Get your growing on, girlfriend. Okay. You get your growing on and get off, do what you gotta do, girlfriend. Do what you gotta do, and that's the way to go. Maybe many others should be thinking the same thing. It's just the thought process, the conscience. Get it clean out and start refocusing on survival. That's how it's supposed to be, you know. Let's see. Could you go live and show us hot meal you're making? Oh, nice. So that'll be a great live. So for me, the ideas is there, sugar. My problem that I have is the time because my work is on the low. I'm always in the car from Monday to Friday. So home is only on the weekends. And I'm trying my best to give my family some quality time as well, just for them. So that's a great option. I think I'm gonna bring that in. Let's look forward to probably next week. Okay, where I can sit down and I can show you guys what it is that I'm eating. But just off the, I like oatmeal. Oatmeal is a really quick way to go in the morning. You put your oatmeal. I can't drink milk because I'm lactose intolerant. So, but if I want to go that route, I know the punishment of it. So I try not to go with that route, but I do protein shakes. So if I get my oatmeal instead of adding milk, I'll add my scoop of protein and I put like a quarter cup of my raisins. I like raisins and a little quarter cup of nuts, mix that up. And when I say nuts, it can be your pecans, it could be your walnuts, it could be your almonds. I like pecans, and walnuts is very healthier. But for some reason, those pecans just sets right with me. Okay, a little quarter cup of that, just enough over your oatmeal. Half a cup of oatmeal, quarter cup of raisins, quarter cup of um nuts, whichever one you like, and I use water to do my oatmeal. Get a half a cup of that in there, and you throw your 1 scoop of protein, and you mix it up. Some people like to add honey, but I don't want anything extra. I'll be trying to find results, so I know if I add honey, I'm gonna want that thing sweet. I'm gonna be squeezing too much honey on it. I can't do it just a teaspoon of honey, so I prefer to don't have it at all. If I do sprinkle something, this stevia, they have get a little pack of stevia just to give it a nice little twist, on it. But if you're gonna, your taste buds is gonna eventually have to um declog itself from all that sweetness that you're used to. You're gonna have to declog from all that salt that you're used to. Your body gonna be fresh, okay? Be fresh where you could eat it because it's healthy that way. And the result is going to come. So right now, that's where I'm at. This is third week in the books, going into my fourth week. And I told you guys next week is my weigh-in. I can feel the different, I lose weight differently. My top and my bottom is the last part to go. My waist is the first part to start shrinking. Okay, I already lost an extra half a back. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Oh my Lord, Shandalahala. Yes. Okay. I could feel, first it was like, oh my God, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you just say 1, 2, maybe two and a half. So she's melting off slowly but surely, but it take a lot of work. And then when it comes to lunch, I work on, because I don't like put myself in a box. You, I told my nutritionist, get me protein, a carb, and a whole lot of different vegetable, but don't put me in a box where you only can have carrots or you can only have broccoli. Like that will confuse my brains don't function normally. So if you tell me you can't, my brains are gonna be like, yes, I can, you know. So I prefer them to give me a two to three different options and let me choose which vegetable or which fruit, what kind of carbs, either sweet potatoes or brown rice, and then came to find out when they did all of the, you know, the research, half a cup of white rice is nothing wrong with it. You still can, as long as you're working out, but people will go for the brown rice because they feel it's more less processed, you know. So it's up to you, but I would do prefer my taste and not neglecting my taste too much. I will go for half a cup of white rice over the brown rice because at the scale from 1 to 10, 1 to 10, you know, they're weighing each other out. But if you're not working out, then that's different. If you become, one makes you get hungry long, like a longer pace. So the brown rice is going to make you go a little bit longer. Anything that has that type of good carbs, sweet potatoes also is going to make you stay fuller for a little bit longer than the white rice. But I prefer the white rice and just drink a whole lot of water just to adulterate it. You know what I mean? Hi, is God's son. Welcome in. How are you today? Hope all is well with you. Welcome to Life with Paulette. He said, hey, how are you doing today, everyone? Well, everyone is doing great so far. I was mentioning at the beginning, I lost a friend of mine, young fella, left behind his wife and two kids and massive heart attack. So we started to just, you know, take the conversation into health and fitness, making sure you all are getting your little walk in, workout in, and eating right, you know. And I'm working on my health now as well, because Lord knows, woo, it's not gonna be a good one. Sugar said, could you go live? Okay, I already read that one. So yes, Sugar, we're gonna work on next month. We're going to work on that next month for you. I would love to do something like that. I will have to pick a day where I'm not out so that I can do it. Or, you know what I can do, sister? I will upload it for you. I will do it and then upload the video. I don't know if it's going to be able to do it live because I will have to stay home all day. But that's great. Thank you for that suggestion, sister. I will definitely take that in consideration. Right now, to I'm gonna head to get my what to call it, my car wash. So if you guys want to go with me, we're gonna go into the car wash for a little bit, and that way I can go and start working again, guys. So yeah, I'm enjoying Lyft. I love Lyft. I think Lyft is some um everyone should give it a try because it definitely works. Give me a second. Oh, there's airplane. Gotta put you back onto the headphones. There we go. All righty. Can you hear me now? Yeah, that was the airplane coming into effect and when I started the car. So I sorry about that, guys. But yeah, I mean, that's all. Get your health together. Focus on your health, guys, because you never know when you're going to cross over. Okay. Walking helps on a daily basis. You know, making better choices with your foods definitely helps as well. Eating more vegetables, more greeny, leafy vegetables is definitely a help to get your body, you know, moving and circulating. And, you know, with that, guys, I'm going to say a bitty goodie to you. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for Aloha Friday. I don't know what we're going to talk about tomorrow, but we're going to talk about something. And, you know, thank you, Sugar, for your suggestion. I'll definitely take that into consideration, girl, because maybe I need to upload something for you guys because it's definitely great to do different options. And for dinner, Sugar, sometime I'll have a juice if I have oatmeal for breakfast. And my lunch, like I say, protein, I have a protein, carb, and vegetable. So when dinner comes around, I trying to snack less and eat or drink a smoothie, a green smoothie, and eat a little bit less heavier. That's the best mechanism, but not all the time I get it done. Sometimes Paulette's gonna go for that extra little piece of pizza that the kids left over. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I'm gonna keep it real because you have to be but real with you all because I don't wanna give you guys no false hope. Like it's gonna take some time in order to get your mind up to par with what's right and what's wrong when it comes to eating. Okay. I'm not 100%. I ain't going to tell you all I'm 100%. It's a struggle. Some days are better than others, but she's striving and she pushing through. And I pray the best for you on your weight loss journey too. But if you do the fitness portion as well, it can help bridge the gap. Because if I, with the days that I don't work out, I also try my best to eat lesser. Okay, lesser. But anyway, guys, I love y'all. I'll see y'all on the next one. Deuces. Bye bye. Abidi.